Hey, Boaz here with Next Pittsburgh. We're here at Frick Park to learn about a pretty unique building here in the park, the Frick Environmental Center. And to tell us all about it, we've got the Director of Education and the Director of the Frick Environmental Center, James Brown. James, thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming here.
So this building is pretty unique.
It is a LEED certified building, LEED Platinum, but it's also a living building, which is a higher criteria of certification. And there are 7 petals that we have to achieve in order to be considered a living building, which means we are a net zero sustainable building. And in fact, the only public building that we know of in the country that is a public living building.
Over here, we can sort of see part of that, and that's where you get your power from.
That's right. So we've got 4 arrays that overhang the parking lot. We've got 588 solar panels, which produce more power than we need. So we're actually putting a little bit of energy back into the grid, but they also serve as the way that we catch water. And so they're outfitted in such a way that they're collecting water, and that water goes into our gallon tanks, both above ground, and then we've got a 1,500 gallon tank below ground, which allows us to also be net zero when it comes to water usage. And so that's all of our non-drinking water. So water the landscape, toilet flushing, that sort of thing. Why don't we head inside and we can see a little bit of the inside of the building. You know, this is our hub for our education operation. So we work with about 25 schools around the city, bringing them here to the environmental center, but also to Frick Park. All right. So we really want to get kids out into the park. Yeah. This is just sort of a stop on the way into the park, so that kids have the opportunity to be curious, to learn, to dig, to learn about bugs, to learn about sustainability.
Gosh, and I see we got the 2 doors. We got the big door over here, and then also the kid door. Here, I'll go through the kid door over here.
And so this space is really just an informal space if you happen to end up at the park on a rainy day, or if you need some information. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're here, is you can stop at the front desk, get a map, get some information about Frick Park. We have a lending program here, so if you need some binoculars, you need an umbrella.
You've got your bird guides over here.
And we do a lot of bird hikes. And then we can head down here, and we can see the classroom space. Any given day, this could be filled with kids, particularly during summer camp. There's a lot going on in this space. But you can notice how important natural light is all around this facility.
It feels like you're in a treehouse sort of up here because you're up in the treetops. You're on this slope.
That's right. And part of what facilitates that experience is, of course, being up off the ground. But even if you notice how the windows are not all uniform in size, and so that's designed to sort of simulate that experience of trees, where, you know, in nature, no two things are alike, right? Yeah. You know, the facility as a whole is about 15,000 square feet. It's on a site that's about 8,000 square feet. This is actually the original site of the first, environmental center. So here we are on the south side of the building, and back to those living building challenge petals that I was talking about. One of them is the materials, and so you can see that this black locust wood that's on several sides of the the exterior of the building is a special kind of wood that is really, really resistant to, it can get wet and really resistant to rot. Let's see, that's north, this is south. The sun would come up over this way and it would set over there. And so if you see that awning there, that helps to protect the glass and help to keep the building cool. However, if you think about the angle of the sun during the winter months, right? And so there's east, the sun would kind of come around this way at a lower angle of insolation. And so it still allows us to get a lot of natural light and to help warm the building in the winter months. And so this is a thing called solar gain. We're thinking about the direction of the sun in the design. It sounds new. It's actually an ancient technology. In fact, Egyptians and Romans would think about the sun's path when they were building. And if you look over this way, this is our sort of amphitheater. And so this is just another gathering space where people can come. We do programmed events here, performances. There's also some other special features about here with regard to the use of water. And I think it would be great to have a sustainability educator talk a little bit more about that. And so, there's Ellen over there, our sustainability
This
educator.
is crazy.
In Pennsylvania, with increasing climate change, there's going to be more water falling at once in a place like this. Okay. So part of the Living Building Challenge is to restore the ecological flow of water to this place. Any water that falls on the roof will eventually go down the roof and fall off the side into a water curtain. And then eventually that water will flow down into our rain ravine, which is equal parts art and functional. So the rain ravine, when it's raining, turns into its own waterway, its own fountain. Sometimes people ask us to turn on the rain ravine, and I wish I could say yes, but unfortunately it only works when it's raining. And then the water will flow into our 2 constructed wetlands. So before this building was built, there was a lot of erosion happening in the stream beds that are just below this building, because the water would just flow down the hillside and just wash out all the stream beds. But with these wetlands, it really causes the water to stop, pool, and soak into the ground.
Cool. And I know one issue in Pittsburgh parks recently has been deer.
Right, yeah, they're a huge problem, which is really a human-caused problem, because we're creating habitat for them. They like being on the edges of forests, and so when we put a road through a forest, we're creating more habitat for deer, and we remove their predators.
Right. It's like, why don't we just bring one like mountain lion back to Frick Park?
Oh my gosh. I'll let JB handle that question.
So this is more than just a walkway, you were saying.
Yeah, so we call this the LA, and so this is sort of the main grand entrance into the park. And there's a big secret underneath here, because underneath the LA there are 18 geothermal wells that are basically part of our HVAC system, and this is a sustainable way to heat and cool the building. Underneath the earth, it remains about 55 degrees constant, and so these are 520-foot tubes that go all the way down into the earth.
18 520-foot tubes underneath us. That's just nuts.
And to put that in perspective, to give you a visual, that's about the height of the Cathedral of Learning. So if you can imagine 18 cathedrals of learning sort of buried under the ground vertically, those tubes go all the way down where the temperature is 55 degrees. They transmit or transfer a liquid called glycol into and through our system. So you can imagine on a hot day that 55 degrees helps to cool the building. And on a very cold day, that helps to give a little bit of heat to the building.
All right, so you've got some pets in here also.
I think this one
It's just wild that you've got a bunch of takeout food containers full of tarantulas.
Yeah, welcome to a nature center. Here's another one here.
Ooh, that one was jumping around a little bit. Gosh, I'll just take a step back. I'll let Annie get close.
They're really cool.
Potentially you'll use this in your education and show them to kids.
Tarantulas are really gentle creatures.
And I have one more thing to show you if you guys have some time.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, cool. We do have to go back outside. And so this is our From Slavery to Freedom garden, and it is in partnership with the Heinz History Center. They have that From Slavery to Freedom exhibit.
Yeah.
And so this you can think of as an extension of that exhibit, but it's all things that freedom seekers would have found on their journey to freedom. And so this is tying together the connection with nature, gardening, with African American culture and history. These would have been things that freedom seekers would have foraged for, on that.
Like some mayapple over there?
Exactly. And so some of these things are both things you can eat. Some of them are medicinal. Imagine the skill set you would need if you were, whether you were a conductor on the Underground Railroad or just a freedom seeker. You almost need to be a professional forager or learn how to be one to be successful in that difficult journey to freedom. And so we're trying to honor those skills and that culture and that history in this space. We use it as a programming space for camps, for school groups. It's open to the public, so it's another space that folks can come in and just hang out, pick a few things off and taste them, and sort of tap into both the experience of gardening, but also the history and culture. You guys have to come back when it's all full of fresh fruits and vegetables.
Totally. Well, I'm here all the time. I love it. Thanks so much for the tour, James. This was awesome.
Thanks for we're happy to have you guys.